Hey everybody, Megaroar, third one back here for FSI DFS. I'm just going to run quickly through Saturday's main slate. A lot going on, just getting out this video late, so I just want to get it out to you so that we can be able to build some lineups for tonight's contest. It's actually a pretty big slate for a Saturday evening with 9 games. So first up, we have Seattle and Houston, Flexen and Framer Valdez. Valdez is probably going to be the SP1 for everybody. Here, Seattle's really struggled. Chris Flexen on the other side, somebody you usually like to target more than play. Doesn't really get blown up a lot. Gives up some not too much hard contact as a fly ball pitcher, but does kind of pitch the contact. So definitely a Houston like them, especially the righties. Flexen seems to be more of a reverse splits pitcher. And out in Seattle on the other side, this is going to be my surprise take of the day, and it's the first game here. So yesterday I said, play Houston. They're probably going to be low 0, and they put up 11 runs. A lot of people wrote back and said, good call, and they did quite well with that, as did I. Today I think I'm going to play Seattle because Valdez is a good pitcher, but I think this team's eventually going to wake up here. I love all the right-handers, and I just have a feeling today. So really like Seattle and GPP. Next up, battle for Pennsylvania continues. Philadelphia Phillies and the Pirates. Ranger Suarez, Mitch Keller. Not interested in Keller. Ranger Suarez on the other side, I think, is probably one of my favorite cheaper pitchers on the day. Philly bats, I think, could make a GPP against Keller. He's bad, but not like horrible. They only have a 4.12 total, and Pittsburgh would only be like a leverage stack here, probably. Some of the righties, but like their lefties seem to have more of the power, so they're cheap and affordable if you want to throw them in a 150, but really not interested. St. Louis and the Nationals, Dakota Hudson and Eric Fetty. Hudson is still coming back from injury, so don't know how DP is going to go. Not super interested, and Fetty is just a bad pitcher, not going to play him. St. Louis bats, love them. Second favorite stack on the slate. Most people would be playing Atlanta over them, but with the weather in Atlanta, I definitely favor them here. St. Louis, winds blowing out here about 5 miles per hour, and I said Fetty's an even splits pitcher, so play lefties, play righties. Some of the pricing's just like crazy, like Goldsmith at like 6.2, and you have to make a choice there. And it's just, I think on FanDuel, whether or not Arenado's the only third baseman on FanDuel, but I think I'd like Donovan over him in the stack at third base, and then but in the breakdown section we'll get to that. Nationals on the other side, if you watch the videos the last couple of days, they're talking about trading Soto and some other guys, so I'm not touching it because I'm afraid we're going to lock in this lineup, and 7-16 is going to come, and all of a sudden these two guys are scratched right after it locks, and it's going to ruin your night. So I'm not playing any Nationals till after the trade deadline. See what happens there. Next up, we have Minnesota Twins and San Diego Padres. Decent pitching matchup here. We have Sonny Gray and Joe Musgrove. No problem with either pitcher. Probably not playing either offense unless it's a leverage match there. That's pretty much all I have for that game. Oakland and the Chicago White Sox. Blackburn against Cueto. I know Blackburn was an all-star, but Oakland had to send somebody that's like the participation trophy award. Each team gets one player, and he was the one that they picked. Cueto on the other side has been progressively getting better. He gets a decent matchup here against the A's, although sometimes out of nowhere they put up runs. So and last night was one of them. It looked like whoever was Lynn last night was the chalk SP2. In a good matchup, and it just didn't quite work out. So Oakland every so often decides they're a Major League Baseball team again and starts to hit. So always think you can play them in a GPP. The White Sox, I think they're going to be very popular against Blackburn here, but Blackburn doesn't get blown up that bad, and they are like 26th or 27th in Major League Baseball against right-handed pitching. So until I see more of that, I think there are 150 max. I'm not really going to touch them or really have too much interest in the White Sox today. Oakland A's bats, like I said, against Cueto. Could they surprise them potentially? Sure. So maybe they're worth a shot in a GPP or some cheap fill-ins in your GPP lineup. Next up, Atlanta Braves and Arizona Diamondbacks. Corbin Martin, who has pitched, I think, about a dozen games this season, and his ERA is like 5 something. So definitely somebody we can target. Ian Anderson, up and down. Last game was horrible. 3 games before that were decent, but with the weather here, I don't think I'm touching either one. Looks like a 60% chance of rain up until game time, and then maybe some pop-up showers during that. The Braves have 6 total, so offensively, I could see playing them, but I think it's kind of risky until you see what the weather is. So watch that closer lock. Arizona on the other side, I think you can play them as a cheap GPP team, especially left-handed. The lineup is out right now, so we got Rojas, Thomas, Marte, and Peralta, Vaccaro. I just skipped Christian Walker. Just play like 1 through 6 without Walker there, the lefties, and makes a good GPP stack against Anderson. Or throw Walker and just be a little bit different and leave off probably, I'd say Vaccaro. He's just kind of moved down to that 6 spot and just hasn't hit as much as he has earlier in the season. But whatever you want to do. Brave-wise, the righties usually hit righties well. Olsen's probably one of the top plays here if the weather holds up. Lefty-righty matchup. Back to Coors Field, Dodgers and Rockies. You have Kershaw and Freeland, 2 left-handed pitchers going at it. So Kershaw, I think, is a YOLO play. I think I might take one shot at him at GPP. He's pitched well recently, and I have seen him shut down teams even in good situations. Like he did pitch pretty well at the All-Star game, and that was at home. I know this is Coors Field, but the wind's blowing in here like 6 miles per hour, and it's going to be 88 degrees, which, when it's hotter, the ball flies farther. But I think Kershaw might be able to get through enough of this Rockies team, get some strikeouts, and do well. But still, not saying a cash play, it'd just be a GPP play. Freeland on the other side, absolute fade, probably one of the worst pitchers on the slate besides Fetty. So obviously love the Dodgers bats here, taking the righties. So bats, Turner, probably gonna skip Freeman just to save some money here. Smith and Trace Thompson, if he's batting 5th like projected, that's great. Uberto projected potentially at 6, that's good also. Barnes at catcher if you want to pivot off a Smith and make your lineup a little bit different at 2-4, that's a great price there. And maybe Justin Turner's still banged up. They say he's not going to play this weekend, but if he does show up in the lineup, it's somebody to maybe consider also, but he might be a pinch hit risk if he's still a little bit sore. But I don't think they'd actually play him unless he would be 100%. So just keep your eye on that. That might be a sneaky low one to play there in Justin Turner if he's back. Colorado on the other side, like I said, you got to like the righties here against just skip Blackman and then just pretty much go down the line. It looks like they're going to have Bryant, Cron, Rogers, Iglesias, Garrick. There's Connor Joe. Any one of those 5 definitely against Kershaw. Probably more of a GPP because Kershaw's been decent. Cubs and Giants, Smiley and Junis. Junis still come back from injury, not super interested in him. Smiley on their side, he's going to get a lot of righties thrown against him. I think he's okay for a cheap one if you were playing tournaments, but wind's blown out at like 16 miles per hour, but some would be like 56 degrees. So as I usually say in San Francisco, grab a jacket if you're going there and a bonnet to keep your hair down or a hat, but it's going to be crazy with the breeze there. It doesn't really affect as much in San Francisco, but still it's going to be a little bit. But anyways, kind of like the Cubs at GPP stack here, especially the righties. I guess you could play any one of them against Junis because I don't think he's going to be pitching that deep into the game. And then definitely the San Francisco righties, but again, you're kind of have to worry about pinch hit risk. So it's probably Slater, Ruff, Flores, Mercedes is super cheap in the outfield there. Estrada's actually been decent at shortstop too, and then Bard at catcher. So there's some right-handed options there too. Probably my favorite cheap stack there, but just remember pitch hit risk. And finally, we have Texas and the Angels, Otto and Cesar. Otto, we've stacked against. McKinley's brought that up many times that he's a good pitcher to stack against. By the Angels, besides Ohtani, who do you really take? But I do think that I do have them in the 150 max category. But when I was building lineups, I figured they fit in really nicely with their cheap prices with the Dodgers with the positions that are left open. So I am considering them in cash, taking some of them to fill out my lineup. Texas on the other side, I think could be sneaky against here. See that. Especially if you're taking a one-off at shortstop, if you like take Corey Seager, I know you're probably going to have like Trey Turner or Swanson or there, but if you do have a lineup where shortstop is open or want to take a different one off, I think he's a great play there. And then some of the other lefties here could potentially be in play. They have a 4.14 total. It's not huge. Wind's blown out there too. It's a lot hotter there at 78 degrees as opposed to 56 degrees in San Francisco, but something to consider. So let's just run through pitchers quick again. High priced like Valdez, Musgrove, and then Kershaw would be your YOLO. Medium range, Gray, Cueto, and Suarez. I think Suarez might be my favorite out of those just with the savings. Anderson, risky with the weather in his current form. Smiley is risky because all the San Francisco right-handed bats can throw it. And then Sithith and Otto are cheap ones too. You just have to, if you want to take a chance of those in 150 max, I'm fine. There's really not super cheap ones, but I think if you're going furthest on down, you really want to go Suarez. Freeland, Martin, Flexen, and Hudson are definitely fades for me. Junis also because he's coming back from injury. Fetty because he's just not a good pitcher. Blackburn, I just don't like the matchup there, and Keller against Philly, not really interested in also. So stack wise, LA Dodgers #1, St. Louis #2, Atlanta #3, but watch the rain. Houston #4, like the righties more because he's a reverse split pitcher, but Alvarez hits everybody well, so he's fine to put in there, and probably Tucker also. GPP stacks, Colorado against Kershaw, Philly, Texas, and Chicago. The cheap ones are San Francisco, pinch hit risk. Arizona looks like they could probably do well against Anderson. Just watch the weather. Oakland's always intriguing there because sometimes they can put up runs. Pittsburgh. Leverage plays would be Seattle, San Diego, and Minnesota. Like I said, I really do like Seattle tonight. Going to play them in GPP definitely. White Sox I'm interested in. The Angels I had as 150 max, but I think they can definitely move them over to the cheap category as for a fill-in. And then Washington absolutely not playing them till after the trade deadline. So DK build. Valdez, my SP1. If you want to fill in with Gray, Quartz, or Cueto or Suarez for the SP2, that's fine. It just depends on how much salary you need after that. I wouldn't go lower than Suarez in cash. Will Smith, going to take Walsh and run Giffo from the Angels at first and second. Third base, I'm looking at open. If Turner's in, I'm going to try to get him in there. I think Hans Alberto might be available. I might just end up just punting that one. And then, obviously, we want Turner at shortstop. If you want to get cute and take a one off, like I said, Seager would be a great play there. Also, Betts and Thompson, Trey Thompson. And then last outfield spot, if you want to throw another Angel in there, and then I think that rounds out the stack nicely. For FanDuel, I'm going to take Valdez. If you want to pay up for a pitcher, if you want to go down to Gray, that's fine too. I'm going to take Will Smith. I'm going to take Gorman from St. Louis. Third base, I'm going to leave open. You can throw Arenado at there. I think Alberto's eligible there on FanDuel. He might not be on DK, but I think he's on FanDuel, or he might just punt third base, take the cheapest guy possible. Turner, Tyler O'Neill, Trey Thompson. Then you just have to decide if you want Carlson from St. Louis or if you want to go with Mookie Betts. And then I think if you pay down for Gray, then you have enough to put probably Goldsmith in your utility there. Finally, for GPPs, going to take Musgrove as my pitcher. I can get Kershaw in here in this lineup, or you can pay down and pay up on somebody, but I'm going to go Goldsmith, Arenado. I'm going to go Donovan over, Goldsmith at first, Gorman at second base, Donovan over Arenado, but you can play Arenado if you want to. Donovan's just been better hitter recently. Carlson, and then O'Neill, and then you can fill in with whoever you want to with cheap bats for this one. I'm trying to think of some good options that might be able to use for that one. You might just want to go with some cheap one-offs there. For some reason DK is not refreshing for me. Try to see who I had in there. And I went with San Francisco. Yeah, so like I said, just remember there are pitch hit risks here, but the San Francisco Giants fill in all those spots, a catcher, shortstop, and outfield really cheaply, and you can get up to Kershaw, I believe, or Valdez play him there also. If Kershaw's too risky for you in a GPP, or take another stack and maybe throw Seager in there and take like uh, if the cheaper catcher is playing for the Dodgers, throw him there. Whoever fits in outfield and for your SP2, I think that makes a great GPP also. Finally, for FanDuel, like I said, I'm taking a stance and I'm going to go out on a limb and play Seattle tonight. I think this is the return to their power finally. So Francois, Rodriguez, and then I want Lewis only if he's batting up in the order. If he's batting down, I'll probably take another right-handed bat, and then I'm going to fill in with Colorado. So you have Rogers, Iglesias there, Joe, whoever you want in outfield, and then whoever's left in utility spot that works. So again, I'm Mega Ruler 31. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section below, and check back usually half an hour before lock. If there's any huge breaking news, we try to put that there so you know what's happening. I think you have like 5 extra minutes to get your lineups in tonight, so you get till 7:10 instead of 7:05. So just watch the weather in Atlanta and Arizona, and I think got some pretty good options here for the builds. So thanks for watching, appreciate it. You can hit me up at Twitter at MegaRuler31. Please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and share with your friends. If we're helping you out, that helps us out tremendously. And if you want more information about FSI DFS, or if you want to subscribe to us, then just check the details of the video. All the information is there. So thanks for watching. Good luck in your slates tonight. Have a good Saturday evening, and we will see you next time.